How are ya? I gotta say, Luke and our band are awesome. I am very proud. What a great job they do. They're high quality. They really are. I'm proud of them. Today, the NCAA tourney starts.
Amen.
Are you excited about that at all? Do you have the winner? Who is?
KU.
Rock
Yeah.
It's too late. Well, today we're going to have, there were some presidents in history that did what they called fireside chats. This is kind of what we're going to do today. I think, did Bill, was it Abraham Lincoln, do you remember, that started that? Do you remember listening in on, yeah, so I figured, yeah. When I started a church, we started doing something called a moment with Pastor Mark. And the reason was I had been pastoring for about 11 and a half years before I did this, and I started this church, and all of a sudden I had all these new people coming that I knew what church was all about. I knew what I wanted to say to them, and I would talk about things like baptism. I would take the offering. I would challenge them to believe in this or that, and it began to dawn on me, they have no clue what I'm talking about. And so we incorporated this into the early days, a moment with Pastor Mark, and I would just get up and I would take just a couple minutes. Sometimes they tease me about a moment became minutes and minutes and minutes with Pastor Mark, but I would take that time to just talk. This is what we do. This is how we do this. This is why we do this. This is where we're at. So today, that's kind of what I want to talk about, just a little bit with you. Just an update on some things, talk about some things, and really, I want to begin with challenging you with some things. I have to tell you this. It is so good to be here at BBC here in Springfield. I honestly, I've got to the point where I miss you, and I miss being here. This is home now, and I'm excited about looking forward to being back whenever I'm out, traveling all over. And I go out and I do what I can when I'm given the opportunity. I go out and I brag about you. And I talk about our students, and I talk about what's going on campus, and I talk about where we're headed. I'm just very excited about what we're all about. So now I spend my life talking about BBC. I spend my life talking about what we are about. I now spend my life doing whatever I can to help make Baptist Bible College a Bible college that will help you to become the very best that you can for God. That's why I do what I do. And I believe this. I believe this about you. I believe that you are here because you want to make a difference with your life. Am I right? Because if you're not, then you're probably at the wrong place. Because Baptist Bible College is not for you if all you want is the degree, if all you want is the paperwork, and then you're just going to go leave and find a simple little job someplace, and you're not worried about making a difference in this world, you're not going to be able to handle the challenges that we want to throw at you. But if you were part of that small percentage of our world that wants to invest their life in the greatest cause known in this world, if you want to invest your life and you want to spend the time here working hard to become the best. If you are here and you have the intent on when you are done here, leaving here to change this world, going from here to make a difference in this world, heading out to take light into a dark world, then you're here for the right purpose. And I'm excited to have you. I will tell you this from great experience. And I'm able to tell you this. I've got experience in the ministry world. That's why I'm here. It's tough. Being in the ministry, serving God is tough in our world. Serving the Lord in whatever capacity you are going into is an absolutely tough job. I'll tell you this, it is the toughest job in the world. And we cannot leave here unprepared for that, because you will not make it. You will not last. That's why we try and make it tough. That's why we try and teach you what we can while you are here. Being in the ministry is tougher than fishing for crab in the Bering Sea. It's tough. It's tough. But there is nothing. You know why it's so tough? Because is the most satisfying thing that you will ever experience in this world. Knowing that I am giving my life to the greatest cause under heaven. That fills my heart and my soul. And there are a lot of good things in this world. You know that. There are a lot of good causes. There are a lot of great causes. And there are a lot of people that live in our world to do some really good things. They will give their entire life to feeding the hungry, to helping people get safe water to drink, giving shoes to the needy. I think half of you here have some of those Toms. That's an attractive cause, isn't it? And probably the reason why you bought those shoes is because you know that that company is giving a pair to someone around the world. It's a great cause, and people are attracted to that. But I want to tell you this. Nothing is greater than using what God has given and put inside of you to help people make an eternal change in following Jesus Christ with their life. Nothing is greater than that. I hope that makes you excited. I hope your heart is stirred about what it is that you want to see happen and what you want to see God do with your life. Because if you are excited about God using your life to make a difference in the lives of others for all of eternity, then you're in the right place. You're at the right place to learn how to do that. So I want to encourage you today. I want to encourage you to give your best. You're halfway through this semester, maybe a little more than half. I want you to study hard. I want you to learn much, because the task before us is great. And you know what? I left here in 1988 ready to change the world. I was going to change the world. The world was going to be different because me and my friends and my generation, we were going to go into the world. We were going to go out of our country. We were going to turn it around. But I will tell you this, honestly, from my heart. I feel like my generation has not done their job. That's why I want to help you so badly. Our country is not better. Our country is not headed in a great direction. You know what? In the next couple of weeks, our Supreme Court is going to hear arguments about overturning all of the Defense of Marriage amendments in America. Our Supreme Court has to hear arguments, and there's a rising tide that is approving of same-sex marriage in our country. Who's going to address that? What person in here is going to know this is how we need to address our nation? This is how we need to reach people struggling with that. My generation, unfortunately, we focused more on each other than reaching the world. We decided to sit around and we attack each other, we criticize each other, we gossip about each other, rather than doing what God's called us to do. So I'm here to plead with you. Keep your eyes on the prize. Get your eyes focused right. Get your heart right now. Because when you graduate from here, when you leave here, it's tough. You've got to be prepared. You've got to give your best now so that you can do your best then. Now, I don't know why, but my heart is just so heavy for you right now. And knowing what you are doing, studying, and knowing what you are about to go into in the coming days and years. But I look around our classes. I had such a great time teaching the mod class that I got to teach this year. The potential that is here. The potential that is here is just fantastic. The potential that's in this room to go out and make a difference in our country and in this world is so huge. I'm so excited about that. So I want to talk to you just about a few things and then wrap it up with some important things that are happening. But I want you to first of all understand why we do what we do a little bit. Baptist Bible College exists to develop students with, first of all, a passion to serve sacrificially. A passion to serve sacrificially. There is something in the heart of a servant of God that loves to serve others. And if you do not have a sacrificially gifted heart, a heart that wants to do whatever it can to serve others, let me encourage you to seek God about that, because that's what ministry is all about. If you have a heart for ministry, then you will get satisfaction from serving and helping others without attention. I honestly believe my generation lost that. We needed to feel like we got attention from everybody for everything that we did. God's true servants don't seek attention. They will sacrificially serve others. I've heard this several times from pastors. The graduates that they have hired from Baptist Bible College were by far the hardest working and best workers that they ever had. They've looked all around the country. They've hired from other schools, but by far their favorite place to hire students is from Baptist Bible College, because we understand what it means to serve. We understand what it means to work hard. You have a unique opportunity to learn how to do that right here in Springfield. As a Baptist Bible College student, you are required to be part of a church. And I want to encourage you today to not just be part of one, but to be the best member they have. To be active, to be participating, to be serving. That is where you will experience, and that is where you will get to do real ministry. Now, we're going to have some opportunities for you to serve right here in the next few weeks, and I'll talk about that in a minute. There are some people, and I say this lovingly, that are in the ministry today that are so full of themselves, they are too good to do jobs. They're too good to greet. They're too good to clean. They're too good to serve others. Some live to be served. That's not really very Christ-like, is it? Jesus said this, just as the Son of Man did not come to be served, but to serve, and to give his life a ransom for many. I hope you learn to serve others with a sacrificial heart. Serving others will cost you, though. Serving others is going to cost you time. It's going to cost you effort. It's going to cost you strength. It's going to cost you money. But we desire for students at BBC to have a passion to serve sacrificially. The second thing is we want to have students that have a passion to reach intensely. When you have a burden on your heart from God, when that burden is to reach others, you will do whatever it takes. You'll do whatever you can to reach others. I want to see students that have an intense spirit to reach others with the gospel of Jesus Christ. And it's so much in you. You're just so full of the gospel that you can't help but share it with people here and around the world. That's just what you are all about. When you walk with God, you will look for ways to share Jesus with others. I want to be able to say that the students of Baptist Bible College have a passion to share the gospel with those around them. I believe that it still works. I believe that the gospel is real, and I know this. And honestly, the whole reason why I am here today is because he did something in my life. He saved me, and he put within me a desire to see others come to know him. I want you to have that same passion. I want you to have that same desire to reach others intensely with the same convictions that those before us have had. Jesus said in the same verse that we quoted before, Matthew 28, to give his life a ransom for many. He gave his life for you. He gave his life for all of us. And one of the things I've really enjoyed hearing about as I've been out traveling around are the stories of some of our graduates. Going out and making a difference in this world. Our graduates have given their life for the sake of the gospel. They have worked so hard. They have sacrificed so much. And they've done some great things. Just last week, I got back from a long trip to the Philippines where I spent a week with one of our alumni families, the Lyons family over there. Greg and Luann and their family. I was so honored to be a part of the graduation ceremonies, the installation services for the new president over there, Greg Lyons. Their ministry is absolutely amazing. They are reaching hundreds of thousands of people. And they know this. We're just reaching this many. The city of Manila has over 20 million people in it. Yeah, they're reaching hundreds of thousands, but you know what a small dent they feel like they're making? They want to do 10 times, 20 times what they're doing now. And they need to reach that many people. They're reaching hundreds of thousands of people. Their churches and their camps and their schools, their kids' ministry, the college. You know what? They are laser focused. They share the gospel They disciple those that make a decision. They place them in churches, and they get them involved in Bible study and training. I just want to throw that out to you and ask you this question. So who's next? Where's another Greg Lyons going to come up? When are you going to step up? When you get out of here, have a laser-focused vision on sharing the gospel like they're doing over there. It's incredibly exciting. Who's going to go to another country and do that? Another state, a city. Maybe you need a passion to reach intensely. Sometimes we come here with that, but we lose it along the way. Just remember, always remember, what has Jesus done in your life? The third thing is this. We desire to develop students with a passion to love unconditionally. Jesus said, verily I say unto you, inasmuch as ye have done it unto one of the least of these my brethren, ye have done it unto me. People are hard to love sometimes. And when you're in ministry, you have to decide to choose to love people. You may not understand that now, but sometimes this is just like a marriage. At your age, you are so in love, and you feel so in love. Bottom line for that is you need to choose to love, because there may be days when you don't feel like it. When you take a ministry, you're not going to always like them people. So you have to decide, I'm going to love them. I'm going to love them regardless of what they say, what they do, how they act. You choose to love them in Jesus' name. When you choose to love unconditionally, you will be willing to do whatever it takes to help someone experience Jesus Christ in their life. The fourth thing is this. We desire to develop students that have a passion to live godly. When you live for Jesus Christ, your life is different. You're called to be different. The Bible says we're aliens. We're not from this world. We're pilgrims here for a short time. We're not to conform to this world, but we're to be transformed. We're to live a life that is pure, a life that is godly, and we want to help you live a life that makes a difference, a life that's separated from the world so that when you live in the world, you can handle it. And you may think you've graduated from high school, and you may think, I'm a grown man. I can handle it. I don't need all these rules. Some of you can. Some of you can't. That is why, as a student at Baptist Bible College, we have some rules. But we don't have rules to be mean. We don't have rules because we're legalistic. I would say if you think that's the reason, you don't know me very well. That's the farthest thing from who I am. But I do think it's important that we have some rules to live by. They're there to help you lead a life that God can use to help lead others. I've been all over this country. Every week I go someplace, and this is what I hear. I meet alumni in every church I go to, and they say, I hated all those rules. And we couldn't do this, and we couldn't do that, and I hated this, and I hated that, and I couldn't wait to get out of there. And then I've had people start crying, boy, I sure love that place. Well, I sure do miss BBC. It changed my life. Listen, there are some rules that students like to try and push. But while you are a student, you don't have to live by our rules. You get to live by our rules here. If you don't want to live by our rules, that's okay. But we have some rules. But they're here for a reason. They're here to help you. As an example, here's an example. We have a no tolerance policy in regards to drinking. When you leave here, you may make a different choice for your life. I'd be glad to talk to you about that. I have some views about that. But you know what? Not here. Not here. This is not something that we believe is okay for you as a BBC student to partake in. We are to live and be different than the world. And I will tell you this. It will not take you long being in the ministry at all. You start having to deal with families that are absolutely messed up, destroyed because of sex and drugs and alcohol. You need to live a life that people will admire and respect, a life that they will want. That's just an example of a rule. There's no sexual immorality allowed, but every year some students think it is okay to drink, okay to have sex. Not here. Not here. There are plenty of other colleges where you can do those kind of things. Not at Baptist Bible College. That's not who we are. It's not something we believe is okay for you as a BBC student to do. Now that's just a couple examples that we address once in a while. I just want to tell you up front, everybody understand what I'm talking about? Is there anybody that can't hear me today? Was I not clear enough on those couple of rules? Everybody got it? Okay, nod your head. You listen? Okay, good. Now, let me shift gears a little bit. I want to talk to you about some things that are coming up that you need to know from me. Let me talk quickly through these things because we're about to have the snowstorm of the century. Goodness.
Yeah, right.
All the faculty and staff are hoping. They hope we cancel classes too. You need to know, I'm from Michigan. I'm from Northern Ohio. This is stuff. I want to tell you, I listen to you. Okay? Recently, I had a very good meeting when we had class chapels. I was with the freshmen. Remember that? Freshmen? In that meeting, we discussed some things. And out of that meeting, I think we came to some very good conclusions on some things. Out of that meeting, we're in the process of developing a student-led newspaper. I'm excited about that. You guys are working on that. Out of that meeting, a microwave in the student center was requested. It is now in there. It's in there. I listen. We do listen to you. We listen to you. Out of that meeting, it was requested that we have soap and hand towels in the bathrooms. You like those? Yeah? Now listen. There was a time, listen to me, there was a time when there used to be paper towels in the bathroom, and students would use them to plug up, stop up the toilets, and they would flood all over, and it was funny. Can I tell you this? Listen to me. If stuff like that happens, then that shows me you're not grown up enough to handle paper towels. Can I tell you this? If someone, seriously, think about this. If someone thinks that is fun, if someone thinks that is funny, that is one sick, perverted, immature fool. They don't belong at BBC, because that's not who we are. We got it? You got it? You got it. There's some other things that we're working on because we're listening. Okay, listen to me. We're working on a couple of plans right now to have all of our dorm students in an air-conditioned room next year. Okay? This will mean moving some students into different dorms, so next fall you may not be in the same building. But this is one of the biggest requests that we get. Guys, I want you to listen to this. Men, I've had some female students suggest and volunteer that they switch dorms with the guys because they want guys to experience air-conditioned dorms. I think they're crazy, but I love that sacrificial spirit, don't you? But you need to know this. You need to know this. We're working on a plan, and I promise you this. I want you to, this next line has everything that I'm trying to get across to you today wrapped up in this. No matter what we decide, I do not make decisions because I want them. I do not make decisions because it will benefit a select few people. I will make the decisions that I feel are best for you. Everything that I decide here is because I've chosen to love you. And I'm giving my life to doing this job because of that. So you may not like every decision I make, but you can know this. It is not because I am trying to please. I do not make any decisions just trying to please a pastor out there. I've already faced down several. They don't know me very well. As a pastor, my church followed me. We never had a fight, never had a problem, never had a split, never had any of that because they knew that every decision that I made was because I loved them. Every decision that I made was for their best. So I want you honestly, you need to trust me a little bit and buy in and know that I'm working on some things. We're trying to think, we're listening, we're talking, and we're doing whatever we can to address some issues that we know are out there, okay? And whatever we decide, honestly, it's because I believe it is the best for you and for this college. Now here's some other good news. Thank you to our Alumni Association who is working with our technology department in the next couple weeks. Hopefully, we're increasing the bandwidth of our internet connection to be 4 times what it is currently. So, yeah, give them a hand, man. That's awesome. Over the next few months, we are adding wireless access to be much greater all over the place, all over campus, dorms, and so forth. So there's really some great things happening in that area. We're working at it. We're trying. Now, there's one thing that I wish I didn't have to address this, but this is real life. Next fall, we are going to have a slight increase in our rates, but I wanted you to hear that from me. In fact, I asked John for the opportunity to speak in chapel today because stuff like that, you need to hear from me. This was my decision. It was my desire that we do whatever we can to not, but you know what? This is something that we have to do. Now, let me tell you why we have to do this for several reasons. First of all, we have had several years where we have not had. It's been a while since we have had any kind of rate increase, a significant rate increase. You need to know this. BBC is easily the most affordable option you could have for your education. Absolutely. We have operated Baptist Bible College in the most efficient way possible, and we'll continue to do that. I spent hours yesterday, because I don't have anything else to do. I spent hours yesterday doing this research myself. I looked up college websites. I looked up their rates. Out of 16 other Bible colleges, like-minded Bible colleges, including Liberty, Bob Jones, Cedarville, Arlington, Tennessee Temple, you name it. We are the lowest cost by thousands. I've got that list right here. By thousands. Now, when I say increase, please know that I'm not talking about something crazy. It's still going to be very, very reasonable. And even with an increase, we are still going to be more affordable than any of these other colleges. Next fall, our credit rate, our credit hour rate, is going from $220 per credit hour to $235. That's less than 7%. For the average student, that is about a $200 increase. Room and board is going to be going up $250 this semester. The apartments are going to see a very reasonable increase. Overall, a full-time student in the dorms will have less than a $1,000 increase for the whole year. Believe it or not, that is a very modest increase in rates. But I want you to know this. I want you to know it today. I don't want you to get a bill. I don't want you to sign up later and find out, what? I want you to know it from me. This is my decision. I needed to do what I could to communicate this personally with you. But I want you to know this as well. Our cost really is so low. I'm just amazed when I look at the comparison. And I want you to know this. Because we're so cheap, does that mean we have a cheap education? You need to know this. Our accreditation is superior to almost all of these colleges. We have every bit the high-quality education that any other college can provide you. You are getting an incredible deal here at Baptist Bible College. And I know our professors. They are fantastic. They love you. They are here because of the ministry aspect of this job. I have no hesitation whatsoever in telling anyone what a great opportunity it is to come to Baptist Bible College. Now, I've had a couple students come to me, and they have said these words. I can't afford to come to BBC. It is too expensive. Let me tell you this. That is simply not true. If you can go to college, you cannot say the BBC is too expensive. Now there may be a time in your life, there may be some situations where you just can't go to college. That may be the case, but you cannot say the BBC is too expensive, because we are not. We can demonstrate that with facts. What you get here is an incredibly affordable, high-quality, inspiring education. Now, let me tell you why our costs are lower than everybody else. There's a reason why our education is so affordable. This is why. Part of the reason is this. A big reason is this. The pastors and churches of the Baptist Bible Fellowship support Baptist Bible College. Every year, they give, and they give, and they give. Every year. And now I'm the one in that position saying, please. I used to be on the other end of the phone. When they'd call, I'd go, oh, here they come, asking again. But you know what? Now I'm the one on the phone, and we're asking. And I'm asking without hesitation for them to give the greatest gift that they ever have to Baptist Bible College. I will tell you this. They believe in you. They believe in what we're doing here. Every year, your tuition and other costs are greatly underwritten by the Baptist Bible Fellowship, and we need to say thank you. Every year, we host a national fellowship meeting here called Fellowship Week. Many of you have been here for one of those. This year, I want to ask you for your help to be part of Fellowship Week. Now, I'll tell you this. It's just us in here, right? When I was a student here, we all hated Fellowship Week. It was the big dog and pony show. And the college would put all their fancy stuff out to impress all the pastors, and they would clean everything up, and they would make everything, special just to impress the pastors. That's how what we felt. Can I tell you something? That attitude was wrong. And that attitude today is wrong. Let me tell you what we need to do. We need to say thank you. That is the right thing to do. These men lead their churches to give Baptist Bible College last year over $1 million. That's a lot of money. That's what they did for us. That's what came in to help you. You don't even know most of these guys, but it's your pastor. It's people in your church. So we need to come together, and honestly, we need to thank them. We need to love on them. There are some ways that you can do that during this fellowship week. The first is very simple. Attend. You may say, well, I'm not required to. I don't have to. Why wouldn't you want to? It's fantastic. There's some of the greatest preachers in our country are going to be right here. The music is going to be fantastic. You should want to come to hear men of God share and be a part of some things. I want you to attend. I want to feature this year some of our local pastors. On Monday night, the speakers are going to be Pastor Lindsay Slayton from Oklahoma, who is the national president of the BBFI, and Pastor Eddie Lyons from High Street, right here in Springfield. You need to come, hear these guys. On Tuesday night, Dr. Tom Rayner he's the president of Lifeway Christian Resources. He is a phenomenal researcher and author, a brilliant, brilliant man. He's been a pastor, a professor, a writer. So you need to come Tuesday night and hear Dr. Tom Rayner. Thursday morning for commencement, our speaker is Phil Housley, the pastor of Parkcrest Baptist Church. I'm excited about that. Phil has a son graduating, but he also has another son, and he has a lot of students here. I'm very excited about our local pastors being featured this year. Now, on Wednesday night, we're having a very special night. We're calling it Homecoming. Every college has homecoming, every college in the world. And we really want to encourage and draw, especially locally. So that Wednesday night, we're inviting all of the local churches to come, and we're inviting them to bring their choir. And Nate is going to work with that huge, massive choir, and we're going to have an awesome time. So this is how you can be involved. Oh, and just by the way, that Wednesday night, with that very special choir, we're also going to be honoring our very own Dr. and Mrs. Bullock. So it's a very special night for us to honor them in the way that they certainly deserve it. So you can be a part of that. I've always thought this. What if we had a couple hundred? What if we had 300 BBC students in that choir? I can't sing. I don't want to. You know what? I don't care. Just be in the choir. We need you to show up and be in the choir. How awesome would that be for our fellowship to see our students unified, showing their thanks by participating. And by the way, I'll tell you this. By singing in the choir, you might learn something. You'll learn how to do some of those things, and that's also very, very, very important. I don't care if you can't sing. Just move your lips. We need you in the choir. Now, this